What if I told you that you can fall head over heels in love with yourself? I'm talking that all-consuming, can't get enough, love everything about you type of love. Well, you can. The Self Plus Love Equals Balance podcast is here to show you how. Every week, we'll share tested strategies, personal stories, and invaluable resources to help you take a balanced approach to loving yourself. Here's your host, Carrie, the Balanced Nurse. Let's get to the love.
Hey ladies, welcome back to another episode of Self Plus Love Equals Balance podcast. You're vibing with me. I'm your host, Carrie, the Balanced Nurse. And let's get right to it. I'm excited that we're settling into this new month of being intentional, inspired, and action-oriented with our goals, right? If you are just joining our vibe, be sure to check out the last episode. I went into all the details, the how, the why, the what. Actually, no, not the how. We're going into the how now. The why and the what, rather, about inspired action and how it's different from what we're so used to doing every day, which is our regular monotonous action. All right. Before I get started, I'm excited to let you know about my new Facebook group, ladies. I put it together for those of us that could really do with having a tribe. And by tribe, I'm not talking about just a regular Facebook group where, we maybe engage for a little bit and we forget about it. No. Our focus is to take the woo-woo out of manifesting while holding each other accountable for the intentions that we set. So no ghosting, ladies. All right, we're being called out. We're being intentional. We're celebrating each other. We're doing some affirmations, journal prompts, weekly check-ins, celebrations, trainings and vibe sessions every week. Anything on manifestation, self-love, or mindset. And we're even doing a monthly sip and self-love Zoom day. I am so excited. I'm planning all the dates and I get all bubbly when I think about it because this is like the fun stuff for me. So anyway, just wanted to let you know about all the goodies that we have coming your way. And so please join the Facebook group only if you feel it's right on time for you. All right. Whatever platform you're listening on, there will be a link for you to join the group. And if you're having any trouble or unable to access the link, just reach out to me. info@thebalancedrn.com and I'll make sure you get in. Okay? All right. So now that we got all that stuff out the way, as I've mentioned, we are on the theme of inspired action, which is my favorite topic. Why? Well, over the years, I've grown to consider myself an inspired action taker. All right. So really, I feel like I'm tapped in and tuned in into how I feel about the decisions that I make and the actions that I take. Very rarely am I indecisive. Normally, by the time I decide to share whatever I'm doing with people or what I plan to do, it's as good as done for me. We'll get into that aspect of manifesting another time. But, there's a piece of it that, you want to really cultivate it within yourself first before you go letting it go and having other people put their doubts, their energy, their opinions and all that other good stuff. But anyway, once it comes out of my mouth to somebody else, it is as good as done. And I'm more than likely in mid-action taking by the time I share it. So my love of inspired action, I feel is the reason why I'm able to be so intentional. I feel as though it's the reason why I'm able to be so successful in having multiple pots on a stove without burning anything. And I'm speaking metaphorically here. However, during those moments when something does end up getting burned, because we are human, I am human, and I have burned a thing or two, it's because I've gone against my gut feeling or my intuition. And I've taken action on something that probably needed to be left all the way alone. All right. You know, those situations or those experiences that call for you to mind your business. You may even get a little uncomfortable in your belly. You may have that nudge, that tells you, oh, hey girl, this one's not for you. It could be that person, that job, that experience, just whatever that is. Okay. That's not inspired action. That's us using our ego and our free will to cause ourselves more issues than necessary. All right. My goal is to help you gain a true understanding of taking inspired action, right? So that you can have more power in what I like to call discernment, which I think it's not spoken about as much. We have free will, we have our intuition, and discernment allows us to decipher which is which, right? This is my very strong opinion. All right. The true struggle, honestly, is remaining consistent in your efforts in taking inspired action. And by consistent, I mean making this like an actual practice. Okay. So for today and the next few episodes, we are going to dig into the how of inspired action. I went all into, what is it, why it's important, why this needs to be your jam. So now we're going to talk about the how. Okay. The first step is a given. All right. You can understandably get lost in the excitement of taking action. Most of us can admit to succumbing to like the shiny new syndrome, right? So you hear something exciting like, hey, you can create the life that you want. You can manifest that goal. It's like, yes, I'm ready. Yep. The first step, you want to set an actual goal, an actual intention. You want to identify your desire. All right. If you struggle with this, it's not really your fault, to be honest with you, right? The truth is we are so susceptible, like I mentioned, with the shiny new syndrome. And lots of it has to do with like the exposure that we have, right? All these advertisements that, they're constantly convincing us to shift from what we thought we were interested in to now this really new thing that's better than the thing that we just became interested in like yesterday. Right? So you want to be aware of that first off. I'm making light of it, but you really want to be aware of that. If you find that you have a particular goal and it speaks to your soul, it speaks to your heart, it speaks to your passion, stick with that for right now, right? We all have multiple goals, but pick one and stick with it. Finesse that. Because when you set a goal or an intention, you're able to pick up on the divine support, I like to call it, that you get through people, experiences, or opportunities that align with bringing you that particular goal or just bringing you closer to it, right? Really, really, really important. You know what it makes me think of? I gave this analogy before. When you finally decide that you want that car and you're sold on it, you've been doing some research and you're like, you know what? This is it. I'm going to get this car. When you decide, what happens? Come on, fill in the blank. What happens? You go driving down the street. There goes that car. You pull up at the store. There goes that car. You on the highway. That car is trying to race you. Right? Very common. That is the way it works when we set our goal and our intention for whatever it is that we want. You finally decide, you know what? This is the job that I want. All of a sudden, Indeed is in your inbox. Your girlfriend calls you like, girl, do you know anybody? Come on. All right. So really important. Set the goal, set the intention, identify what your desire is. Lock that in. All right. The next step really requires some heavy lifting. Okay. It is building your connection with your inner guidance system. So for you ladies who are in the habit of calling your friends, your family, your neighbors, your cousins, and insert person outside of yourself here before you decide to do anything, this is going to take some intentional work for you. Okay. You're not going to really like me for this one, but an easy way to connect with your inner guidance system, wait for it, is to journal. All right. How else can we shut off all the noise through the multiple conversations that we have in our head? And just keeping in mind that the majority of the conversations that we have in our head are not nice ones. We are really abusive to ourselves, especially when we think that nobody hears us. Okay? So we have to get out of our head to make space for what we really need to hear, for the connection that we need to hear. And that's from our inner guidance system. And once you really tune in with writing, doodling, drawing, crafting, whatever this journal looks like, whatever making space in that mind looks like for you, it could be meditation, whatever that is, you need a practice, not something that you do, on the third day of never. You need an intentional practice that you are using regularly to tune in and connect with yourself. Right? You've had a tough day. You've navigated everybody's energy, some good, some bad, some in between, some it's like, whew, what was that? You need a way to connect with yourself to say, okay, girl, so now let's go over the day. Do you remember that person that you met in Target? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that person is who. You need that type of connection with yourself. Okay? You see, because when we shy away from taking the time that we need to connect with ourselves, but we're still looking for a way to connect with ourselves, it's equivalent to trying to have an intimate conversation in a nightclub. Does that make sense? Just whatever that social setting is for you, nightclub, lounge, music is loud, everybody's in their social space, and somebody comes up to you and they're like, yeah, so tell me what your big dreams are. And you're like, what? Hold on, what? I can't hear you. That's what that is, right? So really, really important. Once we start to build and flex our muscles with connecting with our inner guidance, the next step is just as, I'm going to say even more important. So that's why I said we have some heavy lifting to do, right? This is not a one and done thing. This is something we're committing to because you deserve it. You deserve to be in your power to create in the life that you deserve, right? If you're multitasking as you're listening to this, I'm going to need you to stop because it's really, really important. Are you ready? The most important step of taking inspired action is to take action now. Now. My favorite saying is like when I say, oh, you should do this as of yesterday. It speaks to the urgency. Why? You're already feeling good about this thing, right? You're sure of it because your inner guidance system has told you so. You set this goal. You're getting all the signs that this is yours. You feel good. You're already in flow. Do not, and I repeat, do not go back and overthink this, right? Get out of that overthinking mind of yours because what's happening is you are already receiving the support that you're looking for. You're already receiving all of the synchronicities, the signs, right? You're being supported. All that you have to do is go, right? It's important to take action when you feel good, when you're excited, when you're creative, right? That's the magic that comes from you. In the last episode, I was saying that inspired action is amazing because it's one of those things that you cannot delegate, right? It's one of those things that you do the steps, you set that goal, you connect with yourself, you're getting answers, you're getting messages, you're being guided. It's up to you to now take that action. And the key is to take it right then and there. Because if you delay, you're inviting logic to the flow party, I like to call it. Logic is a buzzkill, right? Inspired action is a process that requires you to move from your heart space. Okay, this is one of those head over heart dilemmas that I encourage you severely to choose your heart in this case. Okay, and I have to warn you, as you continue to dig into this practice, you will make mistakes like with everything else. Okay, and the mistakes are normally rooted in not being able to determine the difference between your inner voice, your anxiety, and or your ego, right? So do not, please and thank you, do not blow all your savings on gambling as your first inspired action project. At least don't say that you got the idea from me. However, that job that you've been considering leaving, right? Because you're afraid that you will not find anything else. Maybe your inspired action is coming in the form of listening to this and then sitting down for an hour and intentionally applying to all the positions that speak to your heart and give you the feeling of, ooh, yeah, that'll work for me. Go on Indeed, Career Builder, whatever, right? Maybe that's the inspired action that you're being shifted. Maybe by Tuesday, you're going to get a call and say, okay, yeah, we got your information. We want you, right? It's okay to be scared. I live by the motto that everything is fixable, right? So consider your new focus on inspired action, a deep relationship and faith builder with yourself. Okay, so in the event that you're trying to invite, again, logic to the flow party, and you're one of those people that you like to have plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, girl, everything is fixable. You're always going to look out for your best interests. You're not reckless, right? I don't know. I feel this is a great place for us to leave it for now. I think I overfilled your inspired action cup today, hopefully, at least. So now we get down and dirty with the homework. Are you ready? Because there's plenty. Okay. All right. So first thing I need you to do, ASAP, you are going to go to whatever episode details of whatever platform you're listening on. Need you to join my Facebook, the Leveled Up Manifestation Tribe, as soon as yesterday. That means now. Okay. Second thing, I need you to sit down today and become really clear on your goal, your vision, your manifestation that you're working on. Second, I need you to sit down today and become really clear on your goal, your vision, or your manifestation that you're working on. What is the time frame that you're looking to manifest this thing? What's currently in the way? I need you to answer those two questions. This is not going to be easy. That's a disclaimer, but I still need you to do it. All right. Key thing. I need you to commit to one way that you are going to implement on a daily basis, one way to connect to your inner guidance. All right. This can be through prayer, journaling, meditations, dancing, crafting, moving your body. Whatever that is for you, you know what it is. And if you don't, now's a great time to start experimenting. Take action now. Get out of the overthinking. This vibe, just you and I, is right on time for you, because I'm sure whatever it is that you've been putting off because of your overthinking and your procrastination and your self-doubt and your fear, this is your on-time message to stop. I gave you a lot to think about and work through for this theme. And there's a reason for that. I truly believe that it's important. And if you're really wanting some intentional, focused help with this, and you're really wanting to level up with your inspired action, take advantage of my free Passion and Purpose bundle. I introduced it last episode, but Really, it helps you in terms of not only your brainstorming and identifying what your passion and your purpose is, but then it also helps you in terms of implementing it. It's a guide that walks you through the identifying and the implementation process. You need it. It is free. Download it. I'd love to hear how it's helped you with your process. My intention is to get you into an intentional and action-oriented space of goal slaying, lady. And we do this by showing up for ourselves. In these spaces, here on this podcast, in my Facebook group, for yourself on a daily basis, holding yourself accountable. And if you need help, having somebody else hold you accountable. All right? So let's do this. And P.S., if you're truly, truly struggling, and whether a group is not your thing or the free guide is not your thing, you need more personalized guidance, that is fine. Book a discovery call with me. The link, everything that you need is in the episode details of whatever platform you're listening. It's free. Again, come on. It's like right here. You and me, all the amazingness that we can do on one call together. Whatever. I cannot wait for us to connect in whatever way that is. I'm looking forward to it. In the meantime, lady, until we connect next week, keep doing your math differently. Bye.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Self plus Love equals Balance. Be sure to rate and review us on whatever app you use to listen. It goes a long way in helping others find our community. Until then, remember to do your math a little differently and love yourself.